Picture this. It's 3 a.m. and you're lying in bed staring at the ceiling. Your mind is spinning like a washing machine on overdrive. Tomorrow's job interview, that text you sent 3 hours ago with no response, the bills due next week, everything crashes together in your head like a symphony of worry. Your heart pounds so hard you can hear it in your ears. I know this feeling because I've been there. We've all been there. What if I told you that in the next 10 minutes you'll learn 5 scientifically backed techniques that can pull you out of that spiral in under 60 seconds? Techniques that don't require medication, therapy appointments, or expensive apps. Just you, your awareness, and the power of your own mind. I'm about to share the same methods that helped me go from panic attacks in grocery stores to actually enjoying social situations again. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll have a toolkit that over 40 million Americans wish they knew about. Let's be honest about what anxiety really feels like. It's not just being nervous. It's that moment when your chest tightens and you can't catch your breath during a normal conversation. It's avoiding that phone call for 3 weeks because the thought of dialing makes your palms sweat. It's lying awake, calculating every possible way tomorrow could go wrong. According to the Anxiety and Depression Association of America, anxiety disorders affect 40 million adults every year. That's nearly 1 in 5 people, yet only 36% receive treatment. Why? Because most of us think we should just get over it, or think positive thoughts. I spent 2 years believing that too. I missed job opportunities, canceled plans with friends, and turned down dates because the anxiety felt bigger than me. The worst part? Everyone around me seemed to handle life so effortlessly while I was drowning in my own thoughts. But here's what I discovered. Anxiety isn't a character flaw. It's your brain's alarm system working overtime, and just like any alarm, you can learn to turn it off. The techniques I'm about to share aren't just breathing exercises or positive affirmations. These are evidence-based tools that work with your nervous system's natural wiring. I've personally used every single one of these during real anxiety episodes, from panic attacks in crowded spaces to 2 a.m. worry spirals. We're going to explore 1. The 5-4-3-2.1 reality anchor. This literally saved me during my first panic attack at Target. 2. The cold water reset. Ancient wisdom meets modern neuroscience. 3. The muscle tension release. The counterintuitive technique that melts anxiety away. 4. The grounding object connection. Your personal anxiety kryptonite. 5. The mental safe space technique. Build a sanctuary in your mind. Each technique takes less than 2 minutes to learn and can be used anywhere. Your office bathroom, a crowded train, or lying in bed at 3 a.m. Ready? Let's dive in. Technique 1. The 5-4-3-2-1 reality anchor. 2 years ago, I was standing in the cereal aisle at Target when it hit me. My vision started tunneling, my heart raced, and I felt like I was going to pass out. Classic panic attack symptoms. But instead of running to my car like usual, I tried something a therapist had mentioned, the 5-4-3-2-1 technique. Here's how it works, and why it literally pulls your brain out of panic mode. Find 5 things you can see. I looked around. Red Target logo, woman in blue jeans, fluorescent lights, Cheerios box, shopping cart. I named them out loud in my head. This isn't just distraction. You're forcing your brain to focus on the present moment instead of the imaginary catastrophe it's creating. Identify 4 things you can hear. Store music, someone's cart squeaking, a child laughing, the hum of refrigerators. Your auditory processing pulls you further into reality. Notice 3 things you can touch or feel. The shopping cart handle, cold and smooth. My phone in my pocket, rectangular and warm. My feet in my shoes, tight around the toes. Physical sensation grounds you in your body. Find two things you can smell. This one's tricky, but I caught the scent of someone's coffee and that generic store smell. Your olfactory system connects directly to your brain's emotional center. Identify one thing you can taste. I still had the lingering taste of mint gum from my car. By the time I finished, my panic attack had completely dissolved. I stood there amazed. The technique works because anxiety lives in the future. What if this happens while your senses exist only in the present moment? Let me ask you this. When you're anxious, where is your mind usually focused? The past, present, or future? Drop a comment and let me know. The 5-4-3-2-1 technique has become my go-to. I've used it before job interviews, during difficult conversations, and yes, in many more grocery stores. It's like having a reset button for your nervous system. Technique 2, the cold water reset. This next technique sounds almost too simple to work, but bear with me. 3 months after my Target revelation, I was at a friend's party. One of those gatherings where everyone seems to know each other except you. The social anxiety was building, and I felt that familiar tightness in my chest. I excused myself to the bathroom and remembered reading about cold water therapy. I turned on the faucet and splashed cold water on my wrists. Within 30 seconds, I felt calmer. Within a minute, I was actually looking forward to rejoining the conversation. Here's the science behind it. Cold water activates your vagus nerve, which is like your body's natural chill pill. When you expose your wrists, temples, or face to cold water, you trigger what's called the dive response. Your heart rate slows, blood pressure drops, and your nervous system shifts from fight or flight to rest and digest mode. The technique is simple. At home, splash cold water on your face, focusing on your temples and the area around your eyes. In public, run cold water over your wrists for 30 seconds or hold an ice cube if you have one. Emergency version, even a cold drink pressed against your wrists can help. I now keep a small bottle of cold water in my car for this exact purpose. Last month, before a big presentation at work, I used this technique in the office bathroom. It took 45 seconds, and I walked into that meeting feeling centered instead of scattered. Professional athletes use cold therapy for recovery. Monks use cold water for meditation, and Navy SEALs use it for stress management. If it works for them, it can work for us. The beauty of this technique is that it's instant and invisible. No one knows you're actively managing your anxiety. You're just washing your hands or getting a drink of water. Technique 3, the muscle tension release. This one's going to sound counterintuitive, but stick with me. To truly relax, sometimes you need to tense up first. I discovered this during one of my worst anxiety periods. I was lying in bed, every muscle in my body tight with worry about the next day. A friend had mentioned progressive muscle relaxation, and I figured I had nothing to lose. The technique is beautifully simple. You systematically tense and then release each muscle group in your body. But here's the key insight. When you deliberately tense a muscle and then let it go, it relaxes more completely than if you just tried to relax it directly. Here's how I do it. Start with your toes. Curl them tight for 5 seconds, then release. Notice the difference between tension and relaxation. Move up to your calves. Tense for 5 seconds, release. Your thighs, your glutes, your stomach, your hands, make fists. Your arms, your shoulders, pull them up to your ears. Your face, scrunch everything together. And finally, your whole body for 5 seconds. The first time I tried this, I was amazed. By the time I reached my shoulders, I could feel my heart rate slowing. When I finished the full sequence, I felt like I was melting into the mattress. Here's why it works. Anxiety often manifests as physical tension that we're not even aware of. We walk around with tight shoulders, clenched jaws, and rigid postures. This technique forces you to notice where you hold stress and then actively release it. I use this technique most nights before bed, but it's also effective during the day. I've done a quick version in my car before meetings, tensing and releasing my shoulders, hands, and face. It takes less than 2 minutes and makes a world of difference. Question for you. Where do you feel anxiety most in your body? Your shoulders, stomach, jaw? Let me know in the comments. I bet we share some common spots. Technique 4, the grounding object connection. This technique came to me during a particularly rough patch last year. I was dealing with some major life changes: new job, relationship ending, moving to a new city. The anxiety was constant, like a low-level hum that never turned off. My therapist suggested I find a grounding object, something small I could carry that would serve as an anchor during anxious moments. I chose a smooth stone I'd picked up on a beach vacation years earlier. It fit perfectly in my palm and had this calming weight to it. But here's what made it powerful. I didn't just carry it around. I created a ritual around it. Here's how to create your own grounding object. First, choose something that feels good in your hand. It could be a stone, a piece of jewelry, a small figurine, or even a coin. The key is that it should be something you can hold and manipulate without drawing attention. Next, charge your object during calm moments. When you're feeling peaceful, maybe after a good workout, during a quiet morning, or after meditation, hold your object and really focus on how calm feels in your body. Associate that feeling with the physical sensation of holding your object. The magic happens when you use it during anxiety. Hold your object, feel its weight, its texture, its temperature. Run your fingers over its surface. This does two things. It gives your anxious mind something specific to focus on, and it triggers the memory of calm that you've associated with the object. I keep my stone in my pocket every day. I've held it during difficult conversations, job interviews, and medical appointments. It's like having a secret superpower that no one else knows about. Last month, I was stuck in an elevator for 20 minutes with 5 other people. Instead of panicking about the small space, I held my stone and felt completely centered. The other people were getting agitated, but I felt calm and even helped reassure them. The grounding object technique works because it gives you something concrete to anchor to when your thoughts are spinning out of control. It's a physical reminder that you have tools to handle whatever comes your way. Technique 5, the mental safe space. This final technique is the most powerful one in my toolkit, and it's the one I use when nothing else is available. It's completely internal, invisible, and infinitely customizable. I discovered this during a particularly intense anxiety spell 6 months ago. I was at a family gathering. You know how family dynamics can trigger old patterns. And I felt overwhelmed by all the personalities and conversations. I couldn't leave, couldn't splash cold water on my face, couldn't even access my grounding object without looking strange. So I closed my eyes for just a moment and went to my mental safe space. Here's how to build yours. Start by imagining a place where you feel completely safe and calm. It could be a real place from your past, maybe your childhood bedroom, a favorite vacation spot, or your grandmother's kitchen. Or it could be completely imaginary, a cozy cabin in the woods, a peaceful beach, or a floating cloud. The key is detail. In my safe space, I'm sitting on a wooden dock by a calm lake. I can feel the warm sun on my face, hear the gentle lapping of water against the dock, smell the pine trees, and feel the smooth wooden planks beneath me. The more detailed you make it, the more real it becomes to your nervous system. Practice visiting your safe space when you're already calm. Spend a few minutes there each day, adding details and strengthening the neural pathways that create this peaceful feeling. Then, when anxiety hits, you can go there instantly. Even in a crowded room, you can close your eyes for just a few seconds and transport yourself to your safe space. I've done this during work meetings, family dinners, and even while standing in line at the DMV. The science behind this is fascinating. Your brain doesn't distinguish between vividly imagined experiences and real ones. When you visit your mental safe space, your nervous system responds as if you're actually there. Your heart rate slows, your breathing deepens, and your stress hormones decrease. I'm curious, what would your perfect safe space look like? A beach? A forest? A cozy room? Share in the comments. I love hearing about different people's safe spaces. Let me tell you where I am now compared to 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I was that person who rehearsed conversations in my head 12 times before having them. I avoided social events, turned down opportunities, and spent countless nights lying awake worrying about things that never happened. Today, I still experience anxiety. It's human to feel anxious sometimes, but now I have tools. When I feel that familiar tightness in my chest, I don't panic about the panic. I use one of these 5 techniques and get back to living my life. Last week, I gave a presentation to 200 people. 2 years ago, that would have been unthinkable. Before I went on stage, I used the 5-4-3-2-1 technique, held my grounding object, and visited my mental safe space for just a moment. I walked out there feeling centered and confident. The difference isn't that I don't feel anxiety anymore, it's that I'm no longer afraid of it. These techniques aren't just coping strategies, they're life-changing tools. They've helped me take a job that required public speaking, go on dates without spending the whole day worried about what to say, sleep through the night instead of lying awake with racing thoughts, have difficult conversations without avoiding them for weeks. But here's the thing, these techniques only work if you practice them. Like any skill, they get stronger with use. You don't wait until you're drowning to learn how to swim. I challenge you to try one technique today, not when you're anxious, but right now while you're calm. Which one resonated most with you? Here's what I want you to do right now. First, choose one technique from today's video. Just one. Don't try to master all 5 at once. Pick the one that felt most doable for you. Second, practice it today while you're calm. If you chose the 5-4-3-2-1 technique, do it right now. Look around and find 5 things you can see. If you chose the cold water reset, go splash some cold water on your wrists. Build the neural pathway while you're relaxed. Third, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me, which technique are you going to try first? What does anxiety feel like in your body? What would your mental safe space look like? Your comments help other viewers feel less alone in their struggles. Anxiety thrives in isolation, but it shrinks when we share our experiences. If this video helped you, please hit that like button. It helps other people who are struggling with anxiety find these techniques. And if you want more evidence-based tools for managing anxiety, depression, and stress, subscribe and ring that notification bell. I post new videos every Tuesday with practical techniques you can use immediately. Remember this, you are not broken, you are not weak, you are not alone. Anxiety is not a life sentence. It's a challenge you can learn to manage. You have more power over your mental state than you realize, and now you have the tools to use that power. The next time anxiety tries to convince you that you're helpless, remember that you have 5 techniques in your toolkit. You're not powerless. You're prepared. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video. You've got this. I would love to know where you are watching from in the comment section.